Have I got something for you today. Now, for some of y'all that are just getting into what's actually going on, or some of y'all that are kind of new to what's going on, you might feel something in the gut of your stomach, because you definitely are if you don't know what's going on. And it's going to make you angry. Imagine what it's going to do to the people who don't know the truth. Because your gut instinct is to let this bother you, because we're the land of the free and the home of the brave. But what they're doing here is they're pushing their agenda to round up the people they want to round up by making them angry and giving the people they flew in here and let in here all this extra stuff. And wait till you hear what they say they're going to give them. They're giving them this extra stuff because they're wanting to make the people with the pow-pows mad, because they're trying to start something, and this may start something. In fact, I can about guarantee it will, because if you mess with people's money, you have messed with their God. I mean, a lot of people, you know the people I'm talking about. This is unbelievable because it's not believable. But the consequences of this will be real, and it's to divide. It's to make you think that this woman cheated her way into office by letting a bunch of folks in that they brought in and then giving them a bunch of free stuff. But the amount that they're giving them is what's going to make everyone mad. There's also this story that's going on every mainstream news station about a man bit by the testicles by a 12-foot python, and there's blood everywhere. Okay, if you think about this for a minute, Mystery Babylon, the whore riding the beast, we're actually gonna be looking at that running the place, according to this production. And then we've got the connection with Trump and the snake, because they're saying the snake has you by the testicles and there's going to be blood everywhere. You're not getting away, because the story's obviously fake. The snake ain't big enough to be 12 foot. If a python was 12 foot, it would not be that skinny, and its head would not be that small. And a 12-foot python isn't going to roll up in your toilet while you're sitting on it and you not know it. This is complete gaslighting, all of this. So don't let it get to you, because remember, this is not real, but it has real consequences. This is more proof that we're going home. This will cause economic weakness, which will, in this production, cause an attack. And if you cause an attack, well, you know where this goes. Those of y'all who saw anything about Leave the World Behind. It's that we're going to have Leave the World Behind, Poltergeist, Alien, and Ghostbusters all going at one time. That's what living in here is going to be. Along top of burning sulfur ran down on you, locusts coming from the pit. I mean, we've got... This is really clown world. Just watch like 4 minutes of this.
Cue the fire. I have stories you're not gonna believe. And it is a rarity, because I checked my blood pressure. This one had it boiling. We're gonna start off with number one. You're not gonna believe this. And hey, I called it yesterday. I told you the government's lying to you. And they came a little clean today. It has to do with all those jobs. You know, the million jobs they say we created, we didn't create. But I'll get to that one in a second. It's actually going to be worse. I'm going to show you things that you're like, no. How about this? Tell me you believe this. California advances 0 down. You don't need anything. Come right in. You like your new home? I do too. 0 down. No payment. No payment. Loans. If you're an undocumented immigrant. Here we go, guys. Welcome to the crash. This is 100% of the time before it all goes down. The California Senate, a very large committee, advanced a bill to allow undocumented immigrants to make use of the state's zero-down, no-payment home loan program. And an expansion, the legislature said it would create, quote, significant cost pressures. Quote, the social and economic benefits of homeownership should be available to everyone. And here this just in, it's happening on the streets. Sir, here's your key, sir, to your brand new house. But wait, sir, are you undocumented? It's a trick question. Oh, you do not get a key. I served in the military, does that count? Nope. But also it gets worse. The people around the world just found out about Kamala's new economic plan. There is rioting in the streets, but it's not about her economic plan. Actually rioting in the streets and burning American flags because of this. I was just watching my buddy Neil. He's in Isle of Man. I think if all these new policies get implemented, I'm moving. Something tells me burning American flags over there probably isn't that popular. And actually, Neil's one of my homies from California, right? LA, the hood. I said, I'm going to Texas. He goes, I'm going to an island. Oh, and by the way, if you think your taxes are bad, wait about 4 months. The floodgates are going to rip right. Wait, no. I actually have no idea what floodgates do. I guess it's a gate, but here. You owe that. They are coming after all of your money, even the money you don't have. And also, I thought it was bad when they were like, Harris proposed providing $25,000. You get $25,000. Now it's like you get a free home, you're undocumented, and here you can also have $25,000. Guys, just to let you know, when it comes to politics, I don't care. If she's in, zip, because there's nothing I can do about it. Well, besides move. So for those of you like, wow, we kind of went a little left turn here into politics land. Guys, before they're in office, okay, I'm going to make a little stink. Once they're in, I'm just going to shut up. I mean, I learned a long time ago from Nab and Gruesome, right? Where they're like, that's it, impeach him. I mean, even Kevin went out on a limb. Kevin was like, I'm going to be the new governor. And I'm like, I'm just going to stick to trading because I know once you strike Gavin down, he's like a Sith. He'll grow back even stronger, just with more wrinkles and not so much of a chick magnet. Also, if you're currently sitting on the toilet and you're like, man, life is bad, just know it could get a lot worse. Also, I do have a rule. Do not watch me sitting on the toilet. Man, bitten in the by a 12-foot snake in bathroom. Worst nightmare, blood everywhere. So hey, Brad, on your phone right now, you may want to take a little peek-see. And I want to talk about this. I want to talk about how the entire government is a bunch of big fat liars, but there was actually something even worse. Worse than getting your crystal balls bit off. U.S. job. Okay, so it's not this. I'll get to this. It's to the, you'll want to move over here, this one to the right. I'm trying to pinch to zoom. Most popular. I wonder why this is so popular. Kamala Harris backs Biden tax proposal, including a tax on unrealized capital gains.
This is crazy.
So that means the money, you're in a house, okay? Wow, your house went up in value, didn't it? Well, that means that the money that you don't even have, you're gonna get taxed on. Now, I realize there's a lot of people on this channel from, say, communist Russia or communist China that say this is fine, but you gotta think about it for a second. You haven't even received it. It's not yours. Or how about all my crypto Lambo bros? Just maybe, right? You're sitting on a stack of cash, but you're waiting for that final dump, that final rug pull, so you can get out right at that break-even point. But in the meantime, your gains, we're gonna tax those. As this article says, one trillion critics say taxing paper profits for wealthy would discourage, yes, investment and be a kill switch for entrepreneurship. I say it would kill a lot of things, a lot of my hopes, my dreams of staying in the United States. Also, for those of you like, well, how much are your Isle of Man friends paying? Yeah, not much. Just say you could probably count it on less than 2 hands, maybe even 1 hand. For now, our government, you count it on your phalanges, your toes. Actually, they remove half of your body. Can we just get into a time machine and go back in time when there wasn't tax? Now, I know my liberal friends, and we don't argue. I'm like, well, I don't like paying any tax. Then they say, well, what about the roads? That's a good argument. Okay, I'll do toll roads for all it. Can I keep my money? Well, how about the fire department when your house burns down? Well, remember back in the day? Remember back here where you had a little badge on your house, and if you paid for it, they actually water your house down. I'll take that rather than giving up over half of my money. Also, if you want to know where we are going, back then we were at, what was our rate? 10%? Please take it. And then good old Carter, sweet man that he was, as interesting, people have good hearts. Maybe they do things that seem good, the path to hell is usually paved with like good intentions. It's just the gnashing and the fire hell part at the end I don't like. But hey, look,
Most
goes off the
people lie
screen.
about
So
their
your new
intentions,
taxes
though.
off the screen. But hey kids, let's take your taxes right off the screen because someone has to pay for this stuff. Also, if you ever want to know what your taxes are, I think it was Milton Friedman, just look at that. That's what your taxes are. U.S. national debt.
Yeah,
How are they going to pay
sliding.
for that U.S. national debt? Right? You, 268,000. Well, wait, hold on. Let's bump it 2 years. Oh, and lo and behold, we're up to 47 trillion, and you're up to $332,000 and $50. Oh, and you want to know something even worse? It's gonna get worse. Oh, and what else is on the table that would most popular? Fed set to cut interest rates. I don't even care. Oh, hey, look, Subway, we got a yeah, remember that? Wasn't that the good old days? The $5 footlong is now the $15 footlong. It looks like customers want the old deal back. I bet you do. But you have a thing called the New Deal, where they gaslight you, they lie to you,
Like
your
he's
prices
doing.
go through the roof. Oh, hey, this just in.
All right, I hope this don't get a copyright strike. I tried to play with the playback speed a little. I don't really know how the algorithm works, to be honest with you. I'm just trying to use logic to think about how to fool a machine. Let this be an encouragement. I'm serious. You know, it was really hard for me to overcome that pride hump of admitting I've been lied to my whole life about everything, and what I believed in never existed, because I was a very staunch libertarian, and I could debate you all day long, and I knew the Constitution, I knew the Bill of Rights, and it was all worthless because it hasn't existed since 1871 with the... But that's another story for another time, or you can research it and find it out for yourself, just like I did. And I don't mean to say that in that way, but really, if you're not interested enough to research this stuff, then why are you really watching it? I mean, that's just a honest truth. The most important thing, though, is not that you realize that what you're living in is a lie. The most important thing to realize is the one thing that can save you that ain't a lie. And that's in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 1 through 4. And that's that Jesus died on a cross for your sins, according to the Scriptures. He was buried and he rose on the third day, according to the Scriptures. He died for you, if you'll just believe. Hey, I love y'all, and I hope I see y'all in the sky. If you got a favorite Bible chapter, you might want to read it, because it might be your last time to read it before you get up there. In this realm, anyway. Well, I imagine we'll just know the whole Word of God in our head once we get there. I mean, I can't wait. I really can't. I can't wait to get out of this place. Y'all don't know how many tears I shed having to be in this place. In this life, it makes you hardened towards other people if you let it. Because other people are so into themselves, just like you can be and were at one time. But you still have to believe that there's something out there that can love you unconditionally, and that is Jesus. And that's the only thing that will ever love you truly unconditionally. Everybody else is bound to let you down at some point. We all fall short of the glory of God, and we all fall short in other men's eyes. So, hey, see y'all when we get there. Then there'll be tears of joy. I wanted to add one more thing to this. I met a church-going believer, and I truly believe he's a believer from talking to him. I mean, he believes the right gospel. He, seems to have the fruits of the Spirit just by being around him for an afternoon, But the discernment tells me he's a believer. But as soon as I started talking about prophecy, he told me that yes, we're in the end times, and yes, Jesus is coming back, but you need to get your head out of the clouds and get your nose to the grindstone, because we've got to win souls. Jesus told us, when you see these things begin to happen, look up and lift up your head, because your redemption draws nigh. He told us to watch. Why has the church convinced Christians that read their Bible that it is their job to save people, because we aren't saving anybody? I have never saved anybody. Rhett can't even save dinner, much less myself. Y'all, this is all the work of the Holy Spirit. He will draw you near. He's the one that draws you towards Him. He's the one that makes divine encounters happen. I share the gospel all the time through just encounters, through conversation. I don't hand out tracts. And some people think that, well, you should go hand out tracts. Well, maybe they should let me do it the way I feel natural and called to do it. I was an outside salesman and I was an insurance adjuster in my history. I like talking to people. And when I talk to people, I can naturally bring a conversation around to where I want it to be from being in sales and insurance. So I bring it around to the gospel. There's hardly any conversation I get in unless I feel the urge like I shouldn't. And I know y'all have got that feeling too, like there's certain times that you shouldn't, and there's certain times you know you got to. Like, and you know it's not you talking. It surprises you what you said, because you know it wasn't you. But I just wanted to tell y'all, if someone tells you to get your head out of the clouds, don't let it get you down. Just pray for them, because they haven't been given the freedom by their church that Jesus intended to give them with salvation. They kept themselves in bondage to religion, because loving Jesus ain't a religion, it's a relationship. And I know you hear that all the time, but it's the absolute truth. There's nothing religious about loving Jesus. The only thing that stays the same is the gospel, because your life is sure going to change in dramatic ways at times, and everything's going to change. Love you. Take care.